Hey, what's going on, everybody? Crew Savagery here, and today we're going to be going over POV settings in Babo. So I get asked this question all the time. Crew, what is your POV settings? I can't seem to get the camera right. Well, we're going to go over that, and if you look over, maybe over here somewhere, also down in the description, I'm going to put all the camera settings that I use personally. Also, if you find something else that maybe even works better, definitely comment down below and let me know, because I'm always curious about new POV settings. Everybody kind of does their own thing. Usually a lot of people build their base around somebody else's, but then end up doing their own thing in the end. Kind of like the stats menu, but definitely check it out for sure. This will definitely put you at the start of where you kind of need to be in that realm, and then you can kind of work around to your comfort zone after that. All right, so let's get straight into it. So first and foremost, we're going to go over what each of the different individual camera settings do. So as you can see, near clipping is basically essentially clipping the head. I mean, as you can see, the more you turn it up, the more like his face is revealed and all that stuff. You definitely want to turn clipping all the way down to 0.01. Also, the position is essentially where you're going to be positioned on the head. As you can see, he doesn't keep up with the skater anymore. Definitely keep this all the way turned up. If you want to have the best experience, that's definitely going to be it. The further down that it is, essentially means the farther back it'll go from the skater as you keep progressing through your line. All right, next is rotation. So this is essentially how the skater keeps up with the rotation of the board. This is all personal preference, and honestly, this is probably one of the more curious ones that I'm curious about, is to see how people use the rotation, because some people can either do it like super fast, so you can turn it all the way up so that like the head turns almost immediately. As you can see, it's definitely a lot more aggressive turning from the head when you do it that way. Also, when you're turning, it's definitely a lot less smooth. So if you're like more of an aggressive skater, I'd probably recommend trying maybe some higher rotation settings. I set mine a little bit lower, right about, I think it's 0.43. So that way, as I'm turning, it's a little bit smoother. It's not, you know, it's a little more delayed, but as you get used to it, it's not super bad. The board is still turning, even though like your face isn't exactly turning, but I feel like that's more realistic to what like you would actually feel on a board. But yeah, next would be the x-axis. So I don't mess with the x-axis at all. The reason why I do this is so that anybody that decides that they want to show up to my stream or something, they don't ever have to worry about messing with the x-axis. Like say if they're like goofy footed or something, they can use the same exact POV settings regardless of what stance you're in. Now I am curious to see what other people do. Sometimes I will set my x-axis a little over to the right, not by much, like literally like 0.02 or something like that, just to kind of give it that look like you're overlooking the board. But just for the sake of this video and for other people's sake that are goofy footed, we're just going to put the x-axis at 0 for now, and you can experiment with it as you go. The y-axis is going to be how high up you are. So me personally, I keep it at negative, I think it's 0.9, I think. Right here. It's because, I mean, this is all, like, again, this one is another personal preference thing. It really just depends on how tall you are, how you're used to looking at your board when you're looking down at it. This just comes with just messing around with the camera and really trying to adjust it to your height and how you enjoy skating or feel skating is most comfortable to you. And then the Z-axis, honestly, I would not mess with the Z-axis at all. The further back you go, the more into the dude's head you go. So you just got to be careful about that. Okay, so when you first start doing the POV settings, usually I recommend to start vanilla settings first. Obviously, if you're already used to realistic manual catch, it's honestly not that big of a difference going from third person to first person. The only difference being is that you actually have a lot more availability to see your board and where your grip tape is. So you can definitely get your tricks a lot cleaner in POV mode, in my opinion. It just takes a little bit more practice and time to get used to it. That being said, as you can see, I usually almost always catch my grip tape as it's coming forward. Instead of, because sometimes when I'm in third person, sometimes I'll catch it a little bit late because I don't see the grip tape as from that far away. Usually if I'm trying to go for just like a super clean, realistic trick, I'm gonna set my settings to POV mode. It makes me more comfortable for the tech tricks, but it's all personal preference in the end. And now we're gonna go over like how you should approach objects, because it's gonna be different for everybody. Everybody's gonna have different approaches. You know, some people like to angle more, some people like to go straight on. Me personally, I do a little mix of both depending on which trick I'm doing. But usually it feels like you're going like 1,000 miles an hour at all times, just because your camera is like so close to the face that it looks like you're going a lot faster than you are. So don't let that confuse you, because I know when I first started playing POV, I had a lot of issues where I would set up for my tricks way too early because I felt like I was going a lot faster than I actually was. So definitely keep an eye out for that. That is something that just comes naturally over time with using the POV system. Also, another thing that comes in with time, it will make you nauseous. 100% it's going to make you nauseous. I'd probably say the first 2 hours of me playing POV, I would get really nauseous, like my stomach would just be kind of upset afterwards. Now I will say that does come with time. Once I guess your eyes just start getting adjusted to it, usually the nausea starts to go away. Alright, so we've opened up Burnt's Buster Bale. I'm sure most of you guys, if you've played the game at all, probably know about this map. So I thought it'd be a good one to go to. So one thing to notice when you are using POV mode and you're setting your session marker, sometimes he will like to go the opposite direction that you set it, like right there. You did it again. So I will say this is just kind of a little niche thing that you just kind of got to get over for now. It is still in beta, of course, and this is still just a mod doing this. It is not keeping track of his head. The only way it's attached to the camera's attached to like this is because I have the camera set a certain way so that it looks like it is. This is probably the closest that I've been able to get to actually feeling like you're skating in real life. So I think best thing to do would just be to go over like do a little montage of some POV skating, just so you guys got to see what it feels like to be in the first person point of view when you're doing all of this stuff. Forewarning, it can be nauseating, especially if you're not used to the camera settings, so be forewarned. So to sum it all up, POV mode is just a really fun experience. Honestly, I think a lot of people hate on the POV experience just because they can't get used to it, and then it makes them nauseous. So it just kind of pushes them away, so they just kind of hate on it. But I think POV is a ton of fun. It's honestly the closest thing I've been able to get to like simulated skateboarding. Also, another huge factor, if you're running a 144 hertz monitor, it makes an astounding difference. It's like night and day between the experience that you'll have on a 60 hertz monitor and the experience you'll have in a 144 hertz monitor. I've never seen another game that utilizes 144 hertz the way POV mode does in this game. So definitely, if you are running a 144 hertz monitor, make sure you got that thing cranked up. If you need to turn down the graphics settings a little bit just because of the field of view, definitely do so. But yeah, I hope you guys had a lot of fun on this tutorial. If there's anything else you guys want to know, you can always just show up to the stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. EST, of course, as always. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on the video. And thank you guys so much. I've been getting a lot of praise lately, and it feels good. It feels good. I've definitely been feeling like I've been working pretty hard at this stuff. So again, thanks to all you guys, and I'm much more appreciative of you than you probably think you know. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.